Inside these boxes is everything I need to build an Xbox Elite Series 2 wireless controller, or at least most of the parts. Microsoft has started selling genuine brand new parts right on their website, and they also have a repair guide as well. So let's open up the boxes, see what we have, and get our controller built. In box number one, $23.99 is what I paid for this kit of buttons. So we've got the trigger buttons. We've got, there's the X button there. A bunch of the other little buttons. A bunch more buttons. All the buttons. We have the RB and LB buttons right here. What else do we have? We even got a couple screws, good. And looks like we've got some adhesive pieces. Yeah, some adhesive, okay, cool. So each of those buttons was bagged individually, but this is what we get for $23. Seems a little high, but I do like that they are actually selling these. These buttons can wear out and you can just go buy brand new ones, which is kind of cool. Now, a brand new Xbox Elite Wireless 2 costs about $135, but you can get it sometimes on sale for $109. So I'm gonna compare that to how much all of these parts cost. Now, it is important to note that you can't buy everything you need to build a controller. You can't buy things like the mid-frame or the bottom shell piece or the screws or the extra buttons that are interchangeable. None of those are for sale, at least on their website. So I bought all the parts I possibly could, and then I'm using an old junk controller for the parts that I couldn't buy. So brand new, they're $135, and so far, I've spent $23.99. Let's open the next box. Now this box cost $25.99. Let's see what we got. All right, and this is the top shell. So the top shell already has that adhesive that we got over here. So that's cool. It is really nice that they're selling this, and this is obviously brand new, so it's super nice to have a brand new shell. So $23.99 plus $25.99 brings us to $49.98, and the next box costs $49.99, and it is one of the boards. It is the board with the bear on it, and we've got more adhesive, and oh, we do have screws, okay. More adhesive, that's cool, I guess, in case we need that at some point. All right, and this is the board. So we were already at $49.98. Once we add $49.99 to that price, we're already at $99.97. You can almost buy a brand new one of these on sale for that price, but let's keep going. Now we're gonna add $59.99 to that, which brings us up to $159.96. Let's see what we get for $59.99. Okay, so we've got two more screws. It looks like the same two screws. And we've got two magnets, okay? And then we have, is this all one piece? Okay, that's kind of cool because if it's not all one piece, then you would have to solder to get this in, which it looks like you don't have to do. And of course, more adhesive pieces. All right, and here we have the main board. And then we have all of these motors and stuff are bagged. That's cool, keeps them all protected. I hate how expensive these are, but it is really nice being able to buy these parts separately. Because even like this board is $59.99, and if this board goes bad on your controller, it's basically junk. So you have to buy a new controller at $134, or you can just go buy this board, brand new. It's expensive, it's 60 bucks, but better than 135. That is, of course, if you're not buying used on eBay or something like that. Now we have one more item that I already had taken out of the box. It is the brand new battery. This brand new battery costs $34.99, which brings our total to $194.95. That's obviously amazingly expensive. The other problem is that's not even all the parts we need. If Microsoft even sold the other parts we need, we'd be looking at like a $300 controller. So I love the fact that Microsoft is selling these parts, but I really wish they were a little cheaper. That's enough complaining about the price though. Let's get this thing assembled and see if it works when we're done.
What's up, repair enthusiasts? You guys have probably seen me use this little screwdriver before. I genuinely love this thing. This is the Fantic E2 Ultra, and it's what I grab when I'm working on consoles or anything small. It's just easy. It's precise, it's quick, and it doesn't make me feel like I'm gonna mess anything up. I've put this through a lot of projects now, and it just feels right for electronics work. You've got a ton of bits, adjustable torque, USB-C charging. It just lives on my bench and gets used all the time. But Fantic actually just sent me something new. This is the S2 Pro, and it's more like a compact powerhouse. It's got a lot more torque, a bigger battery, and comes with things like a right angle adapter. So it's built for bigger projects and more general use. Honestly, this is the one I'm probably gonna keep in my backpack going forward. So if something comes up at home, at work, or while I'm out and about, I've got something on me that can handle a lot more than just small electronics. I specifically love this case. It's clean and durable, gives me access to charging without having to take the screwdriver out, has a couple cool little storage containers, a really useful guide for the recommended torque setting based on the project, a good assortment of bits, a magnetizing zone, an extender, and it'll take any 1/4-inch bit. So if there's something in here that I use regularly that they don't provide, I can just add it. Really cool setup. So for me, it's pretty simple. E2 Ultra for precision work, S2 Pro for big jobs. If you're into console repair, home projects, or just like having good tools ready in the wings, these are awesome additions to your kit that both Steve and I highly recommend. Links and discount codes are down below, and thanks to Fantic for sponsoring this one.
So these are currently all the parts I can buy from Microsoft, which honestly is great. I love having parts available. This part, the bottom shell piece, is not available, and this middle frame is also not available. So that would add a lot of cost to this, but I'm going to use these from a defective controller that I have here in the shop, and we're going to start building. So battery goes in first. If you ever need to replace the battery in one of these, it's not too difficult, but you have to get down to it, which is kind of annoying. Just got 4 screws to hold it in. So we'll get those in and then we'll move on. And with that battery installed, we can set this to the side. I'm going to set this off to the side as we don't need that piece yet either. Next, we'll start working with this. So let's pull the button pad off. Can't buy this, which is frustrating, because this often will get pretty gross. This one actually looks to be in decent condition, so that's not too bad. Now, these buttons aren't in too bad a condition, but I'm going to replace them anyway because that's what we're doing in this video. Okay, there's those buttons. And then, of course, we've got the X button. Just going to make sure there's no debris. This mid-frame is used, so I want to make sure there's no gunk anywhere on it. Okay, that looks pretty good. You also can't buy the D-pad, which it seems weird. You can buy all the other buttons, but just not some of them. Got a piece of hair there. We'll get that out of the way. Also, if you're doing this, this button right here goes on after you put the button pads down, and then this button goes on. Like that. Because this doesn't need a button pad. This one actually clicks on a button on the board. We all ready for the next board. This one does not go on next. This one goes on next. So this will just go right here. Easy enough. Now I gotta get some screws in, and then that one will go on. Gotta make sure these guys go in here though. There we go, just like that. They'll probably fall out again when I turn it back over. Okay, with those screws in, next, this guy's gonna go in like this. So, gotta be really careful about letting these wires just hang here. I'm gonna kind of put these motors sort of in where they go, just to kind of get them out of the way. Now we got 2 antenna cables down here we gotta be careful of. Okay, and we need to remember to put in the headphone jack. So I'm gonna lift it up a little bit. There we go. Now back down. All right, there we go. Okay. Now I'll get the screws in for this. And then we gotta route these cables correctly. That should be fun. Now before I forget, I'm gonna hook up these antennas. That one goes there, and then there's a little groove right in the board that we can push the wire down into. And the other one just goes right here. All right. Now with those installed, we can get these wires routed. So we've got little guides all the way along here. We need to make sure the wires go through. Right along the edge here, and then under that, there we go. That's what it's supposed to look like so far. Looking good. Okay, let's grab the other one, and same thing. Right along here first. Just push it into this groove right here. Okay, there we go. All right, and after getting that all done, I realized I did it wrong. I need to start here and go this way. So I'll redo it. I'm not going to show that part on camera though. All right, so this is about what it should look like. Now this motor just kind of like flops around in there until we put this button, the LB button on. So there's a little kind of snap over there. Actually, let's do this. Let's put the motor in here. And then it snaps on onto there. Okay, like that, except for this one's a little bit not where it needs to be. Okay, there we go. And we just have one screw that goes in there, and then that one will be done. Okay, feels good, looks good. Now I do want to say too that in the end of these is the magnet. Now we have replacement magnets, but I can't imagine these magnets are bad, so I'm just leaving these in here. Okay, let's get this one done now. So starting with the motor, this gets clipped in right there. There we go. Once that's clipped in, then we just bring it around and the screw goes right in there. They're kind of a little funky at first, but really not too hard after you kind of understand what's going on. Okay, there we go. Now we can route these wires. I'm just gonna go the same routing, but the opposite way. You need to make sure this is out of the way of everything. Just like that. Okay, that is all routed now. Let's move on to the next step. Now this new front piece I got didn't come with this piece right here, which is a little strange. I'm not sure why it wouldn't, but it didn't, so it is what it is. This piece needs to go right here. And then this piece goes right over it, right here. Okay, all the buttons feel good on this. Don't see any problems there. So the next thing, we need to screw these caps on, but not before I talk about my disappointment with Xbox in general. This is their premium controller, and you pay $135 for this, and it has just regular analog sticks. These right here are potentiometers, and the problem with this is when those little carbon traces wear out in there, then your controller is gonna start to drift. So you're paying $135 for a controller that's gonna have drift at some point. The crazy thing is you can get a third-party controller like this one. This is not sponsored. This is just an $80 controller that has TMR sticks that will last way longer than these sticks from the premium Xbox controller. Now I haven't tested any of the third-party controllers for durability, but from looking at the price and the build quality and seeing that they have TMR sticks, I'd say that's a pretty good deal. Again, not sponsored, just an observation. Now let's get these screwed on, and then we can put it into the bottom shell, and then the top shell goes on. Now we can bring the bottom shell over and just set this down on there. We'll just push down carefully. Okay, and there we go. Now we got some screws to put in here, and then we'll put the top piece on and we'll be done. Okay, now for this top shell, got to take all these all the backing off of the adhesive pieces here. Just like that. Okay. And now it's ready to just go straight down on here. Now it's just clips that hold it in. So we'll get it clipped in, hopefully. Look at how good that looks. That looks really nice, other than where I scraped my tool across there. Actually, it's, I think it might be just maybe some IPA or something. All right, even the bottom doesn't look too bad, even though the bottom part is from an old non-working controller. That really looks pretty good. Let's check and see if it works now. Okay, plugging it in. It buzzed, and there we go. Sticks look good. Let's check the buttons. Oh yeah. That all looks great. So for only $194.95, I was able to build this Xbox Elite 2 controller from brand new parts. While I love that Microsoft is finally starting to sell parts for their stuff, I wish it was a little cheaper, but I can say that I wish every manufacturer sold parts even if they were a little expensive. At least they're available. If you want to see a video where I built an entire game console from brand new parts, I'll put a link for that video up on your screen now so you can come hang out with me over there and check out the build. Thanks so much for watching today, and I hope you have a good one.